Yeah, hi all. Welcome to today's session. I think we'll wait for one more minute for the participants to join. Yeah. So before I start, may I know that I'm audible to you? Can you give me a thumbs up or S on the chat? Great. I can see a few S coming in. Yeah. Excellent. So, yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for logging to today's CENTALK session. Today's CENTALK topic is scaffolding success, visual thinking strategies for excellence. Before I start, I'm just borrowing a 5 minute of yours to present something. Yeah, hope you're able to see my screen. So, before I introduce our guest and commence the session, I would like to take a moment to draw your attention toward a vital information regarding Syntax. We are getting so many queries on why we are not getting the record of participation post attending the webinar. So, this is for that. CENTALKS, facilitated by global facilitators, aims to offer extensive exposure to CENTA teacher community, focusing on your optimal classroom practices and professional development. Therefore, we anticipate your active registration for the sessions. This session is especially for you. Wholehearted participation by sharing your insights, engaging in polls, posing questions, and more importantly, providing crucial feedback to enhance the sessions. So let me just move forward to the fact that CENTALK session we do issue a record of participation. So the record of participation is issued for those who attend the session live and fill in the feedback form. And the feedback form is available on the chat towards the end of the session. So we are getting many queries like why we don't have that feedback form link. It's probably because of that you haven't logged into your YouTube account. That is the reason why you're not able to see the chat, right? So I would suggest you to log into your YouTube account through Google browser, and then you can able to see the chat. And towards the end of the session, we are posting the feedback form link on the chat. Now, there's another point which I would like to highlight. Don't at The feedback form link is providing at the end of the session, so it is exclusively for registered participants. So after filling the feedback form only you will get the record of participation. Now the feedback form holds a crucial element at this point that many tend to skip. So people just attend the webinar, and then skip the feedback form. So we want everyone to fill in the feedback form. See, feedback form is most important for us to improve ourselves. So I would like to highlight that the feedback forms are equally important to us as your participation registration. Your feedback determines how we enhance the future of the session, how we customize it according to your classroom needs, and it is always shared at the end of the session, as I mentioned earlier. But we don't want you to come at the end of the session just to fill in the feedback form. So please attend the whole session and then fill in the feedback form, which is shared towards the end of the session. Now, there are some common questions I would like to address. Where do you get the record of completion? You fill in the feedback form, you attend the session, and where do you get the record of completion? So we are getting many queries on that. So once you fill in the feedback form, within 48 hours, we are making the record of participation available both on Centa app and website. So just please know that is post 48 hours, we are making the record of completion available both on the Centa app and the website. I will take you to through the steps how to download it from the Centa app as well as from the website in coming slides. So in order to get the record of completion, you have to download Centa app from the Play Store. We will share the link on the chat here. Please go to the Centa app. If you are already registered for this session, you can go to My Learning. It is highlighted on the red part here, and on learning, go to My Records. On records here, you can see the session you have attended. In case if you are registered for this session, go to learning and then go to records. You will be seeing scaffolding webinar over there, and then click on the certificate. Certificate will automatically download to your mobile, and then that is how you can get the record of participation through a Centa app. Now in case for some reason you are not able to download the app, I would request you to log into Centa website, centa.org website, and then go to log in with your credentials and go to learning. That will direct to your next page of registration. After registration, there is something called upcoming registration and past registration. Click on the past registration and then click on the download record icon. Yeah, and that's your record of participation will be available on your computer or your laptop. But I would really request everyone to download the Centa app for a hassle-free record availability. So with this simple process, we would urge you to everyone to get the record of participation through Centa app or Centa website. We would really appreciate your engagement throughout the session as well as feedback. I'm just mentioning it again and again. Once you download a certificate, please do not hesitate to share it across your social media platforms. We would like to know the impact that we are creating for the teachers, and how we know helping you the best practices of classroom as for your professional development as well. Yeah, as well with that, I just want to close my presentation right now and let's just begin the session. Yeah, now we have our host here. Welcome, ma'am, Emily, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah,
Thanks
so before I hand over to you, I'll have speak a few words about you to the participants. So Emily Bryson is an ELT professional with over 20 years of experience in the classroom. She has written various prints and digital elements, including National Geographic Learning Voice Series, 50 Ways to Teach Life Skills, and the A to Z of EOSL. She is passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the use of visual tools and graphic facilitation strategies to make learning more engaging, accessible, and more fun. She is a resident blogger for ELI Learning and frequently delivers teacher development sessions for a variety of ELT organizations. Her teacher development courses with a visual twist have been described as the nicest corner of the internet. And her sketch notes are extremely popular on socials. So we will share your link. We will definitely share ma'am's LinkedIn, all social media profiles on the chat. So I'm welcome, ma'am. We officially welcome ma'am to the session. And for the participants, we are deeply honored to announce that Miss Emily Bryson will host an expert masterclass in November with Centa. So for those details, stay tuned with Centa, and we will have some exciting announcement towards the end of the session. Right? Welcome, ma'am. Now, once again, I would emphasize everyone to fill in the feedback form to avail the record of participation. Right? Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for having me on. It's wonderful to be here. I'm already looking at all the chat. I can't believe how many people are here. It's amazing. So thank you so much for inviting me on. So my session today is entitled Scaffolding Success, Visual Thinking Strategies for Excellence. And I've just created a book of visual tools or visual templates. Visual templates are very similar to graphic organizers, but they have a bit more of a snazzy, magical visual storytelling element to them, or a visual metaphor through them, or I also feel like they just look a little bit prettier. I find that graphic organizers can be a bit square, circular, rectangle, whereas these have, well, you'll see them very shortly and it'll all make sense. And you can use them for helping your students and your teachers and you and your entire school and anybody really to help plan out your goals, for looking at progression to see how you advance and how your students have advanced over time, to kind of map out your journey, and for self-evaluation as well, to have a think about how where you are at the moment in your journey and where you want to be, for example. So we'll talk about those. I'm going to use the Canva whiteboard, and because I will be drawing. The reason that I've got this weird glove on is because I will be drawing. You will also be drawing, but don't worry, if you're not confident with drawing, I'm hoping to change that today and give you the confidence to draw. Drawing is simply using circles, squares, lines, dots, and then putting them all together. Maybe some letters from the alphabet as well, adding them together to make a simple drawing. And it's not about art, it's about communicating. So I hope you all have a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen ready, because I will be getting you to try out some of these things. And don't worry, yes, it's not art, it's communication. And my slogan is feel the fear and draw anyway. So yeah, don't worry. So I'll be moving into, okay, so this is Canva whiteboard that I'm using. I like to, as a graphic facilitator, just introduce myself using, so Andrew already introduced me, but I'd like to just introduce myself as well. So I am one of the authors of the Voices series for National Geographic Learning. I became a graphic facilitator maybe around must be about 4 or 5 years now. So actually, for many years, I didn't draw. I stopped drawing, like many people do, at high school, when I finished my art class at high school. And then I didn't draw again for many years, until a graphic facilitator came to my college and showed me some very simple ways to draw. And these are the kind of drawings that I do. So, for example, this laptop here, you'll notice it is simply a rectangle, and then another and then a couple of little lines that come out, and then another line, and then some little crisscrosses. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but that signifies a laptop, and that laptop can then signify lots of different things. For example, study skills, academic skills, IT skills, etc., etc. I'm an outdoors fanatic. In my spare time, I love cycling, swimming, running, just being outdoors, hugging trees especially. I love trees. I'm currently in Argentina, and they have lots of unique trees that I haven't seen before, which is very exciting. I've been teaching for about 20 years. A lot of that was teaching adults in Glasgow, in the largest college in Glasgow, and I taught a lot of literacy there. So this is me teaching sounds. Okay, so that is me. If you have any questions throughout the session, please ask them in the chat. I think Andrew is going to write them down, because I might miss some of the chat. I'm going to be switching between my tabs here using my Canva whiteboard. So there are many benefits to graphic facilitation. This is one of my sketch notes. So a sketch note is a means of taking notes using simple drawings. And for many years, when I was at school, I would stare blankly out the window a lot. And I think the reason for that was because I hadn't learned to sketch note. Because when I take notes, I pay attention more. And it helps me to process as well. So I learned over time that the best way to actually pay attention was for me to take notes, but not only to take notes, but to actually draw when I was taking notes. And so this is a sketch note of some of the benefits of graphic facilitation in English language teaching that I have discovered over the years. So firstly, it's a lot of fun. Drawings are fun. Having drawings on the whiteboard is a lot of fun. Drawing with students is fun. It revived my teaching mojo. So for 20 years, I don't know about you, but whilst teaching, I have my days where I'm really happy and I'm loving it. And then I have my days when I'm really exhausted. And I think I was in a bit of a slump at the time when I met the graphic facilitator that came to my college. And it just added like an extra little spark of magic to what I was doing in class. So it reinvigorated my teaching mojo. It got me started and enthusiastic about teaching again. It's supportive. So if you can imagine a whiteboard that's full of text, and then another whiteboard that's full of text with drawings, which one's going to be more supportive? It's going to be the one with the drawings, obviously. It aids memory. There is actually a lot of academic research to show that using drawings aids memory. Not only is it a visual cue that students can use in their notes and to visualize a point, but also if they draw it, there's a study called the drawing effect. So they gave people a list of vocabulary, and then they gave another study group a list of vocabulary and got them to draw the vocabulary. And can you figure out which group actually memorized more vocabulary? It was the one, obviously, that was adding little drawings. So adding drawings aids memory. It's a great way to boost memory. It's relaxing. So for many years, I taught learners from refugee backgrounds. A lot of them had mental health problems, but adding a little bit of drawing in class helped them to relax. I've got quite a lot of, if you go to my website, emilybrysonelt.com, I have an active meditation that you can download, which involves drawing and basically drawing a meditation. So if you're like me and you can't turn your brain off, you can draw to turn your brain off. I'm just going to quickly switch between tabs just to double check I'm definitely sharing the right thing. It encourages critical thinking. So you could have students in class asking each other, how do you draw this, for example, or what is that? If they've drawn something and you're not sure what it, if they're not sure what it is, or things like how can we draw motivation, that kind of thing. So it's a good way of getting students to think critically. It aids understanding. Obviously, adding one little drawing can completely change the understanding of a piece of vocabulary or some complex information. It minimises prep time. So all the activities that I'm going to show you today, all the visual templates that I want to show you today are, I can use them at any point. I can draw them at any point in my class. So I know that I don't need to prepare anything because they're all in my head. But also they are available. I have created them in a way that you can download them as well. So there is a book that I have on my website where you can download them and use them anytime. But yeah, drawing minimises prep time, and the activities that I do all minimise prep time. It reduces processing load. So if you imagine an academic text or a textbook with lots of words, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to read an academic text with lots of words, or do you prefer to read an infographic? Or, for example, something like this sketch note. If you can just write in the chat, what would you prefer? Something with lots of text or something with words and pictures? I know what I prefer. It's a good way of communicating clearly. So we as language teachers, our main goal is to communicate, and in communicating, there are many different ways to communicate, and this just adds an extra way of communicating and making sure that we can be understood in the classroom. It's a great way of concept checking. So you can ask students you can check students' understanding by getting them to draw a picture, or you can draw a picture and ask them what it is, and then concept check that way. It boosts creativity. So lots of people ask me, don't you think that drawing's for children? I would say absolutely not. Well, obviously it is for children, but it's not just for children. It's for adults as well. If you think about the phone that you are using or the laptop that you are using to access this webinar, somebody drew that before it was designed, before it was put in a box and finished its design even. The house that you're in at the moment, somebody drew that. So creativity is one of the 21st century skills. It's one of the most important skills that we need and our students need for life and work. And getting students to draw or drawing in class is a great way to do that. It's multisensory, so you can use it in lots of different ways. You can get students moving around the classroom. You can get students talking with it. It's multisensory. And of course, the images are copyright free. So if you are struggling to find an image online, you can just draw your own. Problem solved. And it supports literacy. So for many years, I was teaching adults who hadn't developed their literacy skills, maybe in their first language as well as in English. So they couldn't write in their notebooks any translations, but they could, of course, add some little drawings. So that helped them to learn. Also helps pen control skills. So like, for example, drawing a wiggly line or a circle. You can turn it into an apple that way. That's a good way of pen control skills. So overall, drawing in class in graphic facilitation is a superpower. And I'm going to show you the tools that I'm going to show you now. You don't actually need to use, you don't need to draw in class, but I'm going to show you how to draw them anyway because it's fun and because I believe you can all do it. Okay, so this is a graphic from the front cover of my book, Pathways to Success. And when I say it's a book, there's not much in the way of text in it, apart from maybe teacher's notes and a whole load of templates. It's mostly pictures. But this is, it's full of visual metaphors for success and for goal setting. So this is somebody who has succeeded, and it's doing that thing when I'm not drawing again. Okay, it's not letting me draw here. Okay, yeah, it's letting me draw now. It's fine. Okay, so this person has got to the top of the mountain. There are many different ways to get to the top of the mountain because we all have different ways of achieving our goals. Some people might opt for a super, super, super hard way, or some people might prefer to go take a slow route, slow and relaxing route. Others might like to go for something steep. Some people might go for slow and steady. Some people might like to, I don't want to say cheat, but to sneak halfway up by taking the easy route up the path. Some people might want to spend a lot of money on it and do it that way. I'd like you to just, in the chat, which way would you like to get to the top and achieve your goals? If you just add, so if you say, are you the hot air balloon? Are you the cable car? Are you the person cycling up the hill? Or maybe you've already achieved all your goals and you need to reassess where you're going next. Which person are you? If you can just add in the chat there. You're using Santosh is using the hot air balloon. That's good. Which is nice. Okay, so I'm going to take you on to the first visual tool. And it's a very simple one because I like to start off with a very simple one to boost everybody's confidence. Because some people, I know some of you are probably artists. I also know that some of you maybe haven't drawn since you were in high school, or maybe have lack a bit of confidence with your drawing. So I'm going to introduce you to this template. And one of the reasons why I say this minimizes prep time is because you can use this in so many different ways. You can use it in a team meeting, for example. You can use it with yourself. You can use it with your students. You can use it to talk about emotions. So, for example, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling very happy. How are you feeling today? Oh, I'm not doing very good. You can use it to talk literally about the weather. How's the weather today? In Argentina, it's a bit, yeah, it's kind of sunny cloud, I would say, today. Feel free to add in the chat how the weather is in your part of the world and your emotions. Which are you today? Are you sunny? Are you a rain cloud? When I woke up this morning, it was quite early. I think I was this cloud. You can use it for storytelling as well throughout the day. So I'm going to tell you a little story now. So when I woke up this morning, I was a bit of a rain cloud. I don't like waking up in the morning, especially when it's dark. But over time, I got in the shower, and after I got out of the shower, I felt a bit better. And then when I had a cup of tea, I felt even better. And now I'm talking to you, and I am very happy. So you could use it to tell stories as well. You can draw this on the whiteboard and get students to, you can draw it on the whiteboard and get students to add their names, or you can get them to draw it in their notebooks so that it can be more of a personal record. You can do it daily. You can do it as a one-off check-in. You could do it at the end of a session for feedback. How was that session for you? I really liked this bit. Oh, I didn't like that bit. Or you could get them to write one thing that they really loved, one thing that they found difficult, one thing that they found okay. So lots of different things that you can do with this particular template, which is why I'm showing it to you. You can also use it for progression. So you can talk about the progress so far, like how are you feeling with your English? My English is, for example, my Spanish. My Spanish is poking through the cloud. Some days I feel really confident. And then other days, maybe if I speak to somebody who's speaking really quickly with a very strong accent, I feel a bit more like this. So lots of different ways you can use this. So we're going to draw it really quickly. So take a nice piece of paper in your notepad and then just do a circle. And then 4 little clouds. And if you do all 4 little clouds at the same time, it means that you get your spacing correct. And then you know that you can definitely fit it onto the whiteboard that you're using. Okay, and then when you do the sun, I tend to do on the hour, on the half hour, on the quarter past and the quarter to first, and then add in the other bits. Okay, and then on this side, you've got the line. We're going to do the, what do you call it? The lightning bolt. So do a line and then an up and then another line. And you can leave it like that if you want, or you can add another line, another up, and then connect it. And then add some little raindrops. And then here you can add some raindrops. If you want to make it darker, you can just add some wiggles. And oh, we need the sun poking out from behind the cloud here. Okay, and I'm just going to nip over to see in the comments what kind of, how are you today? Can you just say in the comments, what icon do you feel most relates to your confidence with drawing? Would you say you're the sun, or would you say you're the dark rain cloud or the light rain cloud? You just add in the comments. Yes, exactly. So JVP says you can even compare mood with present visual. Oh, I've lost it now. Yeah, with a present visual, and cloudy and cool, exactly. Lovely idea. Okay, lots of suns, that's good. A darkening cloud, maybe. Okay, very honest. Okay. So I'll just delete all these, go backwards. Okay, so that's progression tool number 1. And then another progression tool, which again you can use, or self-evaluation tool, I should say, is this hot air balloon. So it's lovely. There's lots of visual metaphors in graphic facilitation, and with each visual metaphor, there's a story. And so the visual metaphor here is hot air balloon. Has anybody been in a hot air balloon? I'd love to know if you've actually been in a hot air balloon. It's one of my dreams. I would absolutely love to go in a hot air balloon. Yeah, this person on the ground hasn't quite filled their hot air balloon with hot air yet. It's filling up. They're gaining confidence, or maybe they're gaining English. And here, this person is flying. They're very confident. They're happy. They know what they're doing. Maybe they've got lots of English vocabulary, and they're flying high and feeling confident with their progress. So where are you on this line? I'm going to mark, so you can have, for example, at the bottom, or at the top, or in the middle. So where are you with your, okay, we'll stick with drawing again. Where are you in terms of confidence with your drawings? Are you at the bottom, are you in the middle, or are you at the top when it comes to a hot air balloon? Can you add your chat, your comments in the chat? At the bottom, in the middle, in the middle. I won't want to go up, exactly. This visualization is always helpful. Yes, I would agree with that. And I think having these kind of visual metaphors takes the sensitivity out of it. So if you were to just say, how do you feel about, how is your confidence? I think students can maybe get a bit sensitive about it. But if you kind of add an element of fun and an element of visual imagery to it, then it takes the sensitivity out and it takes the sting out a little bit. So I'm just going to show you how to draw a hot air balloon, because it might look complex, but it's really not. Again, it is just a rectangle and a circle. So I'll zoom in here. So you can start with the circle. I'm going to do that one again, actually. And then you can add a rectangle on the bottom. If you prefer, you can start with the rectangle. Sometimes I do. It's not a full rectangle, it's most of a rectangle. And then you can add a circle on top. And then just add some little M shapes or N shapes. And then a line across. And then some little, what do you call them? Some ropes, some little, they're just L shapes really, little lines. And then for a person, you can add an N shape and then a circle. That's all you need for a person. That's an N and an O. And if you want to make them smile at you, that's fine. If you want to make them look the other way, you can do that. Okay, so yeah, if you want to add little weights, so the weights can be quite good because you can do this activity, you can zoom into any activity and focus just on this. So for example, you could have here things that lift you up, and then here, the weights, things that weigh you down. So it could be all your positive thoughts are in here, and all your negative thoughts are here. And yeah, you could get the students to think about all the things that are holding them back. Oh, maybe their negative thinking, or, for example, lack of time, that kind of thing. And then all the things that are quite positive that can bring them forward. And you can focus on their English, or maybe their career goals, or their family life. You could actually do it about likes and dislikes, like things that lift you up, that's things that you like, things that weigh you down, that's things that you don't like. And then you can think about things like, you can use it for different language, like I like, I don't like, I would like to, I feel positive when, I feel negative, I feel bad when, I feel a bit dark when. If you've got any ideas in the chat throughout this, if there's something that inspires you, please do add your ideas in the chat and share it with other people. I'm very much a believer in give teachers ideas, and then they can go and improve them in their own way and make them their own. So, okay. So, yeah. So for all of this, you can get lots of different language out of it, lots of different ways to get students to think about it as well. Okay, so my next one is about planning out the future. And I think in English language teaching, we often think about the future as being this direction, and the past as being this direction, although it does depend on the students, and I think it's quite good for the students to have a discussion about it. One of my students said, no, this is the direction for going forward. And they're quite right. Future is that direction. But yeah, we often think about the future as being this way. And then obviously in Arabic speaking countries, it might be the other way around as well. But yeah, I think when we're drawing out timelines, etc., in English, we often have the future and the past, future on the right, and then the past on the left. But here, this one is about, this particular template is for goal setting. So you've got the target in the middle. You've got, this is what I like to think of as your big ambitious goal. The goal that maybe you think isn't really possible. Maybe you want to move into a huge house, or for me, I would love to speak absolutely perfect advanced Spanish, but I'm not sure that'll ever be possible. I don't know how long I'm going to be living in a Spanish-speaking country, so not sure. I'd love it to happen. And this one is maybe a more realistic goal, or a target, or something that you want to happen in the next year. Like for me, maybe create more visual templates for other organizations is one of my big dreams. And here is different way. You can use this as with all of my templates. I don't put text on any of my templates because I want them to be used and reused and repurposed by different teams and different schools and different students in different ways. So you could either have this as mini goals, like different goals, or you can have it as different ways that you're going to achieve these goals. So, for example, if I wanted to have for learning Spanish very well, I would add things like continue with my Duolingo. What else would I add? Continue with my live classes. When I say live, I mean online. Continue with, yeah, you get the idea. So to continue speaking to and living in a Spanish-speaking country, continue using my language, continue conversing as much as I can, that kind of thing. So you can ask the students to, so there are many ways you can use this. You can either draw it really big on the whiteboard and get students to come out and interact with it. You can do it on the Canva whiteboard, like what I'm doing here. And you can use, so I'm using Canva whiteboard, but there are other ones. So Miro is good, Mural is good. Sad to say that Jamboard is being taken away by Google, I think in October-ish. Earlier than that, I don't know. But these three are good options. You could print this template and give it to students and get them to complete it and then talk about it. You could get them to show it to them and then get them to draw it. And then, of course, they can draw their own versions if they want to as well. Maybe they can, if they could actually draw themselves doing what their big goal is as well. And with the templates, you could get students to add drawings if they want to. You can add drawings if they want to as well, or you could just use text. Text is fine as well. Okay, and I'd like to think about some of the language that you can use with this template as well. So for example, here, things like I would love, I hope. Here, things like I want. And then here, things like I will, or I need to, I have to, that kind of thing. But again, the language is open and you can obviously change it depending on the students and depending on you and your needs as well. Okay, okay, I'm just going to show you how to draw this particular target because it is basically just a series of circles. So draw one circle and then another circle and then another circle and then a little couple of, I guess they're U shapes really underneath, and then you can color them in. And then the arrows, basically just a triangle and then a line and then some little other lines on top of that. You could do it the line first and then add the triangle last if you prefer. Up to you. Okay. I'm just going to check back in with the chat if there's anything I need to look at. Okay. So another template that I absolutely love, and I created this template. I'm telling you this story because, again, there are so many different uses for every template. I was mentoring an action research project, and my mentee was wanting to find different ways of helping people from refugee backgrounds deal with mental health issues. So we wanted to find a nice, non-sensitive way of getting them to think about their mental health challenges. And so we came up with this idea of the mountain being the challenge. So the mountain here, they could write their mental health challenges, what was hard for them. And then here is coming back to that idea of what lifts you up. Here are ways, things that make them happy that can bring them over the mountain. What can lift them over the mountain? But of course, this was just the first way that I discovered how to use this. So after we created this template for mental health challenges and what can lift people over the mountain for challenges, we started thinking about lots of other different ways that I could use it in class. So it could be, for example, the challenges that students have to learning. So learning barriers, and then how to get over those barriers and get to the top of the hill. So this is, and you could put somebody here at the top. So a student at the top having achieved their goals. So you could put their goals here. So this is their big goal. It could be learning challenges and then how to lift them over their challenges here. Or you could have their goals. Oops. I don't actually know how to put them back. Yeah, okay, I do. Goal here, I'm going to use this. Yeah, so goals, and then how are they going to achieve those goals? So yeah, the different ways of how are they going to achieve those goals? The steps that they need to take to get up the mountain. So first step, second step, third step, fourth step, how are they going to get there? They could also have a look at where they are on where they are on the mountain. So for example, this could be C2 proficiency, and this could be A1, and maybe they are an A2 learner. So where are they on the mountain, and how are they going to get the rest of the way up? What's worked, and you could put here what's worked for you so far. How are you going to get there? So lots of different ways that you can do this, and then get students to write their ideas, share their ideas in pairs, write about their ideas, give each other advice on their ideas. That's not going to work. That is going to work. Have you thought about this could work? And again, the language from before, I want to, I would like to, I hope to. And of course, you can use it with your school as well. So if there's a challenge that your school's going through, what's your school goal? What are the challenges that your school currently has, and how are you going to get there? Okay, so I think I've only got a couple more minutes. So these are a few other activities that we can use. There are some other templates that I've got. This particular one is very similar to the mountain. You can have, for example, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, or week 1, week 2. It could be like for your course. Where are you going to be? How are you going to get there? Or things that you're going to do in order to progress. Could be the different levels again, like A1, A2, A3, B1. And then obviously you just create the number of steps necessary for your student at that time. Here we've got a lovely roadmap where you can draw little boats. And a little boat's just a little half circle and a line and then a triangle. And then that could be like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, or the steps that you need to take in order to get to this paradise island where everything is rosy and beautiful and you've come through the clouds into the sunshine. Because I'm from Scotland, and for me, sunshine is the ultimate goal. I know that in some countries you maybe want to move towards the nice cloud to escape the sunshine. So it depends on you and your students. You can obviously change this for you. I do encourage drawing your own, but you can, of course, download mine. There's a nice little pathway here for footsteps, which you can line up. You can have them on the classroom wall, really big if you want, one for each student, or a different colour for each student. Or you could have, for example, this could be grammar. This could be vocabulary. I'll put the vocabulary down here. This could be pronunciation, for example. You could colour code them. You could have them in a line similar to this little swamp as well. And then here, this swamp, this is quite fun because the crocodile is basically just a little M shape and then a little circle. And then, my pen's too big for zoomed inness. But yeah, the crocodile's basically just a little M with a couple of little dots in the middle. And then a little circle here. And yeah, you could allocate like different students, like this could be one student, student 2, student 3, student 4. Or you could do it like a game where they have to get across to, again, the future or their goal over here. And then you've got a journey map, which start here, end here. You can add the student at the top with the goal, enjoying themselves. They're very happy. They've achieved their goal. And actually, if you flip this one round and have the road going the opposite direction, so if you're looking backwards, for example, you can use this for reflecting. So you can think about what went well, what did you do, how did you get to here? So maybe the student is now here, and they're looking backwards, at where they've come from and the journey they've travelled. And you can have a look that way. Okay, so if you want to get these visual templates, it's on my website, emilybrysonelt.com, and it's called Pathways to Success, Visual Tools for Goal Setting, Self-Evaluation and Progression. And it's in PDF format, so you can download it, you can print it. There's actually black and white versions to make it nice and printer friendly. You can upload them to Canva Whiteboard if you like as well. And I just want to end by saying these are some of the things that I do. So if you want to add some sparkle, I feel like drawing, this is my magic pen. It adds some sparkle to your classroom. If you'd like to add some sparkle to your classroom and learn how to draw simple ways to engage your learners, I've got lots of different online courses. The first one is Build Your Visual Vocabulary, which is about learning how to draw in a very simple way. The second is Graphic Facilitation for English Language Teaching Professionals. That's where we talk about visual templates and container activities and different activities and ways to draw, for example, grammar, etc. So lots of different online courses to check out. I've also got a course in sketchnoting if you're interested in that. And you can start any of those today. You can sign up online anytime you like. I deliver lots of creative teacher training. If you would like me to deliver a session specifically for your school, just get in touch. I'm more than happy to do that. Obviously, I do like getting paid. So please contact me if you're interested in that. If you would like me to sketchnote for you, I can sketchnote your conference. It's great for sharing on socials, for capturing key takeaways, for simplifying complex information. My sketch notes have been described as a gift to speakers at conferences. So if you've got a big conference coming up that's got a good budget that you'd like to spend on making your information eternal, I feel like if you can have a webinar that just disappears into the ether a lot of the time, but if you have a sketch note of that webinar, that information continues to do the rounds on socials for a very long time. Um, I'm also a content creator and create things like blog posts, books, etc. And I can create lots of visual templates, etc. for you if you are creating, if you would like some activities snazzed up and added a little bit of magic to. So yeah, so these are some of my courses. So this is the Introduction to Graphic Facilitation for English Language Teachers. This is the sensational sketchnoting one. I've also got some collaborative courses. This is the sketching sounds one I did with Gemma Archer on teaching pronunciation, which is fantastic. I teamed up with Chris Walclett to do one about drawing and music. And I've also got one on graphic organisers with Claire Hayward, where we use a lot of Canva tools as well, which is pretty fun. And lots of freebies. I know that most of you, everybody loves a freebie. This is the active meditation that I told you about. So where you can draw, basically draw a kind of body scan meditation. If you like teaching climate change issues, you can download my ELT Can Do Eco lesson. If you are a teacher of literacy, I've got a nice little hand-drawn story using Satipitne, which I've used with my adult literacy learners. And this is the Introduction to Graphic Facilitation for English Language Teaching Professionals book, and the sketchnoting for English language teachers as well. So thank you so much for coming to this session. I hope it was valuable for you. Lots of positive feedback in the, I'm enjoying all your comments and ideas that you've shared. Feel free to share more. But yeah, I think we've got time for questions now.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Emily ma'am, for this engaging and informative session for our community. And I'm pretty sure that teachers do enjoy this session. So there are some
Good.
takeaways which we also find it very good from the webinar. There's one benefits of graphic facilitation in ELT, visual images like air balloon, mental health challenges, goal settings, steps for success and roadmaps, and then magic slate to draw simple ways language teaching strategies. So these are the few takeaways which we found it very good from the session. And we have one question from one of the participant. How can we teach chemistry using this graphics?
Oh, teach chemistry.
Yes.
Well, actually, graphic facilitation has its roots in engineering and design industries. So chemistry is very, I feel like chemistry and science in general have used drawings and doodles for years. I think I am not a chemistry expert. I haven't been in a classroom with chemists since I was 15 or 16. So I think that's maybe a case of me giving you the ideas and maybe you doing the course, and then you can apply it in your own way. But yeah, I guess things like drawing, see, I don't even have the technical language for it to think of what it is. Like draw not the periodic table, but the things that the periodic element can do. Like you could use it to note down different. You can use it for all sorts of things. You can use it to get the students to take notes. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think you definitely can. I'm just not a chemistry expert, I'm afraid. Sorry.
There's another question which we have. Any graphics for maths, mathematics?
Math? Also, same question. I am terrified of maths. I'm also terrified of chemistry, if I'm honest. It definitely wasn't one of my top skills as a teenager. But yeah, there definitely are ways of doing it for sure. I'm sure there's probably accounts that you can follow. Maybe type graphic facilitation and maths into Pinterest, and you'll probably find some ideas. But yeah, if you do my courses, you'll be able to apply it in your own way, I'm sure.
Yeah. Thus we are coming to that. So now it's time for the much waiter announcement. we are providing an early bird offer for participants who are registering for the masterclass exclusively for the webinar participants. So Miss Emily Bryson is conducting a masterclass Visual Thinking for All, practical activities to boost creativity, communication and confidence on November 1st, 2024 for just 1000 plus GST. We are having an early bird offer. Now, for additional information, you can always check on Centa app and Centa website, right? So those who are posted the question for chemistry and then max, I would suggest you to check on the Centa app and register for the session. You will get a more clearer idea, right?
Yeah.
Now, yes, thank you, ma'am. Now, for the queries wherein people are asking for the record of participation, I would again urge them to fill in the feedback form. We have posted the feedback form on the chat, and then the webinar code is being scrolling on the screen, right? Thank you so much for everyone for joining us today. To register for more such upcoming webinars, please visit Centa app. Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you